We're recording.
Hell yeah, dude. Share. Share. How do I share this? Share. Group. Boom. Now we're officially ready to go. Everything today has led to this point. Now it's real.
Ooh-ee-ah.
Okay, kids, let's go.
Quite a nice background you've got there, Mopar.
You sneaky bitch. I want this one.
You felt
I want this one. I want to take him home. Give him a name.
Hello, what have we here?
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Holy
I can't get that
shit.
close to
Thanks
mine.
C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
Looking found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. I'm messing with my webcam. Ow, fuck
hello.
around.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello there. Hello there, Mopar.
Good day, Galaxy, everybody.
How is it going today, Mopar?
Very rainy. Very rainy
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it was a video game day if I've ever lived through one before.
I know you despise rainy days. I like them.
Well, I don't mind the rainy day. I hate having to be out in it. I despise the rain itself.
Oh.
But, you know, it makes for a nice day to stay inside and eat donuts and clean the house and play video games. So I'm about that.
What's
I
your
like that
donut
part
of
of it.
choice? This is a very important question.
This is a very important question. And
Guys, spoilers ahead.
spoilers for
You're going to
everything.
find out the official donut of the Rogue Squadron podcast.
Well, very much like my favorite Star Wars movies, it does like to change. But
A go-to?
chocolate-covered Boston cream is always a good go-to. Always
This is
a
the
good
first
go-to.
time ever in history that Commander and Mopar have agreed.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. I completely agree. It's the Boston
Nice.
cream. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good
I
one
love
for sure.
the, it's almost like vanilla pudding in the fucking middle of my treat.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, that custard in there is a winner for sure.
Absolutely.
A
A close second. Go ahead.
It does depend on the donut shop, though,
Yeah.
because there's a cafe called Fox in the Snow down here, close to downtown, and they only have one kind of donut, but it's really fucking good. So I'd like that one a lot, and then of course you have Buckeye Donuts, and you
That's
have
the most
like
ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
what?
They've only got one, so I enjoy that one. Well, of course you do.
Well, but as far as donuts go, it's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly a pastry shop, but you know, it is what it is.
You know what I've been what's been bumping the rug
Ooh.
for me
Yes.
is the chocolate donut. Not sprinkles or frosting, the actual chocolate donut, just a glazed chocolate donut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been doing
Like
it.
the-
Whenever I like flavors, I want it all the flavors. Like if I'm doing moose tracks, I want chocolate moose tracks with the chocolate bits in it, and I want to put chocolate syrup on it. I just love.
Want to eat it with
the
a chocolate
extreme.
spoon?
Yes,
Have some
with a
chocolate milk
chocolate spoon.
afterwards. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So, you know,
Yeah. We've got
it's a donut day.
We've got a good amount of stuff. Obviously, Mando. We'll be talking about the most recent episode. We'll dive into some of the details that dropped in Mando a little deeper, kind of at least the legends of it.
Oh, will we?
So high spoilers, major man spoilers, men spoilers ahead. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then
spoilers.
there was an update, a surprise to be sure, on Squadrons. I thought we had.
Well, not yet, but I thought it's coming out, and they announced it, right?
Yeah, it's been announced. So they're bringing in 2 more ships on the Squadrons game. Again, I
Sweet.
thought we had officially released that they weren't planning on that. So maybe they did that in spite. They said, "Hey guys, nothing's coming," and then they dropped something, a month later.
Yeah, I wonder if they kind of secretively did that.
I don't know. You know what?
I'm screwing with my light. I can't. I feel like I look like
No one
Look
watches.
like I'm hollow right now. No one's watching though.
HollowNet. Let's get my.
Let's try that. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about Squadrons. We're going to talk about Mando. We're going to talk about some Lego Holiday Special goodness.
I haven't watched a holiday special yet. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
But I did finish reading the 2 chapters. I think there's actually more chapters that have been released of the High Republic book, Light of the Jedi. I assume you've read it now since you haven't been busy.
No, I haven't been busy at all. Not at all.
So you didn't read it?
No, I've been busy
Oh
as
my
shit.
gosh! You just said today you played video games. Okay.
Today's the only non-busy day.
All right. Well, I guess I can throw my 2 cents. Yeah. So, anything else going on outside of those Star Wars topics?
Video game stuff, I guess we could delight into. That's not a word. Our gift exchange is in progress
For our patrons.
Went out today for patrons. Yeah, so keep an eye on your gifts. Keep an eye on your mailbox for some good Star Wars goodness for the holidays. And we are going to have fanboy commentary for The Mandalorian starting up here soon before the season is over. So stay tuned for that. That's about it, though.
Yeah. I just bought, I know you'll be happy about this, Far Cry 5 was like 75% off. So I was like, $15? I'm fucking buying that.
Little man, put that shit in my hand.
Yep. So
Nice.
I got that downloaded today. I haven't even booted it up, but I am excited to get into that as far as, gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, Mass Effect 3, I've been trying to jump back into. It's always a good one.
Yep. Yeah, well, let's start with some video game shit. Have you gotten Call of Duty Cold War yet? Or are you going to get it at all?
I didn't even, today was the first time I had heard about it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, the new Call of Duty Black Ops 17 Cold War is the name. I got it specifically for zombies.
Oh, they brought back zombies.
I think Black Ops has had zombies every time. I've just been out of the Call of Duty loop for quite a while.
Is it like a revamped old maps, or is it brand new again?
So the first map, the only map that's on there right now, does start with the original. It's in the same location as the original one, but with a bunch of added stuff. It's like you visit that original zombie location 40 years later, maybe 30 years later, and there's like graffiti on all the walls, and now there's a bunch of machines and teleporters and new dimensions. I'm not gonna lie, it's very overwhelming. There's so much going on compared to like the original couple maps that we used to play all the time. I mean, the Pack-a-Punch machine and like the perks and everything, back then that was a big deal. That was like the big change. But now you're teleporting to different dimensions, and there's like multiple levels of each one of your guns, and you can Pack-a-Punch them, and there's 6 perks instead of 4, and there's like teleporters and stuff, and it's very confusing.
So is it too much because you're old, or is it too much?
I think you just have to you have to learn the map. I mean, I've only played like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So when the maps are that big, I think you just got to take some time to figure that out. But it's fun.
If you're behind on the learning of the maps, you're behind in the entire game. It's a struggle to catch up because people find their spots, or
Right.
if you get into a bad spot and you don't know, you get cornered and shit. But
Yeah.
In any game, I was playing Battlefield not too long ago. Well, I always play it, but I was on some DLC maps that I like blanked on. I don't remember, and I was just getting obliterated. And I was
It
like,
can be
I'm
rough.
good at this game. I just don't know where the fuck I have to go.
Right. Well, especially for zombies. I mean, you got to know where you're going to like feed your chain of zombies, and you have to have an escape plan, and you got to know like where the perks are and everything, and where the rest of the squad is hanging out, because you can't be too close, because then your zombie train will collide with one another, and then it's just Armageddon.
Zombie trains, collide again.
Got to keep that zombie train on its own track. So, it's just a learning curve, I bet. I hope I'm not too old to play. I mean, we used to be pretty savage at zombies. Any wave-based co-op mode, I'm a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad that the
waves
Overwatch
are
has
always fun.
those. Overwatch has those only during the anniversary, but Overwatch 2 is supposed to have co-op stuff. So
Co-op
I'm looking
waves
forward to that.
challenges.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
No, I 100. I would buy an entire game that was just like different versions of waves. like wave co-op battles. That's why I always harp on the Modern Warfare 3, where it wasn't zombies, it was just normal troops, but it was just more and more
Survival mode.
But that was uncapped, just like zombies, where you can just keep going. I know so there's other, like Mass Effect 3 is great, and I do love the waves, but it's almost like I wish we could just keep going instead of like winning at 10 or the 11th wave or whatever it is. I wish it would just keep getting harder and harder. Now, of course, that's an older game, and the maps are very limited. They're
The nice thing about the new zombies is that they did create like an escape option. So like once you get to wave 10, every 5 waves, like 10, 15, 20, etc., you have the option to like call for backup and actually escape. And then you have to like evac kind of like the very last wave of Mass Effect. Or you could just keep going until, you can't do it anymore like it used to be. I went to Google to look up if the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is going to have multiplayer. I'm very curious about that.
So the Legendary, they're redoing all 3?
Yeah, that's what we mentioned that
Oh.
last episode.
I don't know why I was under the impression they were just redoing the first one.
Oh no, all 3 of them.
Oh fuck! Well, yeah,
And all the DLC. Spring 21.
that's always a pain in the ass. We, Tommy Boy and I were running into that where we tried to co-op up into multiplayer, and it was like he doesn't have the downloads, and he kept looking. He's like, it's showing as downloaded.
Yeah.
So he ended up having to like uninstall everything and reinstall everything.
Right.
It was just
Especially
kinda,
for one of those backwards compatible games, yeah.
yeah. It's a very clunky, but once you get it to work, obviously it's great. It's fun. It's fun.
It does not mention multiplayer. It doesn't say no, but it doesn't say that it is included. So I guess we have to wait until May to find out.
But really want to say is fuck Mass Effect, because 2 of my favorite guys. Let's get down to it. Let's just get down to it. Squadrons. I can't hold it any longer.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about it.
They are dropping my 2 favorite ships across the goddamn squadrons. All of them.
Let's hear about it.
So, one of my favorite games from my childhood is the TIE Fighter game, the Star Wars TIE Fighter game. I loved flying. One of my favorite parts of it was that you got to fly crazy, ridiculous versions of the TIE Fighter. One of them being the goddamn TIE Defender, which is the coolest looking death machine you could ever imagine.
Yup.
Not only that, but they are launching my favorite
Rebellion ship?
Rebellion ship. It
Your
really
favorite
now like as far as playability, I think I probably would prefer to play as like an X-wing or an A-wing, but just like pure awesomeness, I love the B-wing is one of my favorites, and it's just it's really bumping my rug. I'm forever using that from now on.
The B-wing and the TIE Defender, yeah, baby.
Yeah, well, can you give me permission here?
God damn this fucking meeting. Yeah, all participants can share. Oh, but I have the music on. Here you go. Sorry. There you go.
Oh, there we go. So one thing that I did notice, so we're looking at the B-wing, obviously, and the TIE Defender. The TIE Defender, I'm just telling you, that's one of the coolest.
So sexy.
It's one of the coolest looking ships. I'm not even sure how it lands. I don't even give a shit. But it looks fucking sweet. Like, how does it land on its butt? Like it turns upwards and lands?
No, there is a ship that does that though. From Rebels, one of the Mandalorian ships. Yeah, I always thought it was weird that the TIE fighters landed on their wings. But
yeah, I mean, well, also the what was it? The Outlander in Mando, we see the wings fold up. That's fucking cool. I like usability of that. But one of my favorite things was because the B-wing just looks obnoxiously not like a ship.
Mm-hmm.
But it like makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, and the fact where the cockpit is placed compared to everything else is so strange.
So what I read here is, so they basically said the B-wing is classified as a bomber ship, while the TIE Defender will be a fighter class ship. So they're not even the same class, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I was curious if they were gonna like make a new class to keep the balance in there.
That's what
now
I
we
assumed
have
too.
2 bombers and
two bombers and 2
as
fighters.
the thing, and 2 fighters as the Empire. Yeah, sorry, I can't talk tonight. God damn.
But it said basically they're saying, but it won't, like, the B-wing won't replace the Y-wing. There will be benefits and pros and cons of each one. So so it's not just going to be like a better Y-wing. I'm sure this thing's going to be quite a bit slower. The Y-wing seems a little more agile.
Yep.
The B-wing's just kind of a humongous fucking ship. But it was saying right here, unique designs and layouts, including the B-wing's rotating cockpit mechanism.
That's awesome.
How
are you going to control that shit?
Well, that's what I was saying. If you lock onto something, because it's all first person. So if you lock in onto something, you could probably spin your ship, but your view wouldn't change.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'd be hard as hell to hit.
Yeah.
But you could still be locked on to their ship and firing away.
That's crazy, man. I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah. And to be honest, even though this was one of my favorite ships, I didn't even realize that cockpit spun. That's like a crazy. It's awesome. It's a unique design, like they say here.
I knew the ship rotated. I guess I didn't know the cockpit can actually go 360.
Yeah, well, I knew that the ship kind of folds up too. So it's like a lowercase t. The arms of it will fold up.
Yeah.
I think they fold up in opposite directions. It's not like they both fold upwards or both fold down. I think they tilt on an axis almost.
Also, as far as it is awkward looking in an amazing way, but
yeah,
B-wing for a name is so weird.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from.
I'm trying to look at it and figure out where it's
Yeah, I doubt it's because of the way it looks. I don't know. Maybe just because wing. Turn the music back on. I'm done sharing my shit.
B-wing name. Where did the B-wing get his name? Oh, it was an A fighter and a B fighter.
Yeah, isn't that from production? They started making the A-wing first. It wasn't even that the fact that it looks kind of like an A.
But you can kind of trick yourself into thinking that looks like a B.
If you squint real hard.
If you squint real hard, you can pretend that ship looks like it's a B spelled out.
On a rainy day.
I do feel like we're getting... I know we're never going to get that many ships, but we are kind of getting a video game version of X-Wing miniatures, which I always did enjoy. I feel like the detail that's in each ship and how they're all different and unique is really cool. And you can customize your own pilot and customize the ship and all that. It's like you're getting X-Wing virtually in a video game format, which is awesome.
Yeah, did you finish the campaign?
I didn't. No,
I me neither.
Jump back in because the other thing that's coming with the update with those ships is private matches, which is not in the game right now. So I think it'll be nice to customize a match lobby and have all of us link up and just play against the AI because I am not good enough to play multiplayer in that. No way.
It's a tough game, regardless. And if you get into a match with some people that just know what the fuck they're doing, it is hard. It gets hard very, very quick.
It can be insane, man.
It really can, and that's what it kind of turned me off because I don't know what kind of co-op-esque you're grouped up, but you can't. I don't see how you can really plan a battle and be if I don't know what I'm trying to say. Working together to win the battle. I don't know where the fuck you're flying. You're just trying to not die way over in the corner of the map, and I'm just over here potentially shooting. So there's no planning or strategy, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
True.
It's just all mayhem.
It's a cluster. We're just probably not used to it. If you look at a match of Overwatch, it just looks like a bunch of colors flying everywhere. It's really confusing. But after you play for a while, it's easy to follow. Yeah. So we probably just got to dive into it. Brendan was saying, doesn't it bother you how the letters in Star Wars aren't actually letters? They have their own language, Aurebesh. So there is no actual English Y or B in the Star Wars alphabet at all. So it's not a Y-wing for that reason. It is.
Why would they name it A-wing if in their own
there is no A.
There is no A.
Right. That makes no sense. I never thought about that before.
Maybe an A is a shape, not a letter in the Star Wars universe, so they could still say it's an A-wing. Know what I'm saying?
Sense. Star Wars has never made sense, so I'm okay with it. Certain elements, it's fine. It is what it is.
It's very true. I know in The Last Jedi, we finally saw an actual book, scripture of the old Jedi scripts or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Was that in basic or was that in like I don't remember them opening it up.
I don't remember seeing the actual pages, but let's look up the ancient Jedi texts. Let's see what we find. Share this goddamn thing, baby. The sacred Jedi texts. No, I need like pictures, buddy. Give me some images of these.
Oh, they do have.
Interesting. Yeah, because we do get a little bit of a zoom in when she sees the Wayfinder. I can't tell. Does that look like handwritten Orbesh, I guess?
Yeah, it does.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool, actually.
I never noticed the detail in that before. That's
Details
awesome.
in Star Wars? What the fuck?
Yeah. None of it makes sense, but there's a lot of detail. A lot of nonsensical detail there in the background. Nice. That's cool.
So, I have something to admit.
Oh, no.
I watched.
You don't like Star Wars anymore,
I
do
watched
you?
episode 4 recently.
Oh, you like it now?
You know, it's just a different style. It really is.
Yeah.
It feels so much less sci-fi and so much more just like a hero's journey. Like, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a hero's journey in space. But like,
Yeah.
I guess the prequels are so hard tied into like certain aspects of science, sci-fi and force powers and like crazy blow up shit, war and all this technology.
Lots of tech, yeah.
It is very. It was nice to get to in episode 4 and it just be okay. Farm boy, old wizard. Let's go beat up the bad guys. It is kind of a nice change of pace, and I do feel like they got back to that quite a bit in the sequels, which was nice. But I think maybe that's the big turnoff of the original trilogy fans diving into the prequels, that you have to like really start wrapping your head around a lot of the science and the tech to, I mean, really absorb what's going on. I mean, the fact that it's like 50% wrapped around cloning humans, is
Right. And a
kind of
droid army.
Yeah, and a droid army. I mean, it's quite out there. So maybe that was kind of just spitballing because it was nice to, like I said, just kind of go back to desert planet, farm boy, old wizard mentor, and giant death ball.
Yes, I'd agree. I'm sure I'll feel differently about it. I mean, when I say 4 was boring and I hate it, I don't actually hate it, and it's not that boring. It's just us being a little hyperbolic when we're ranking Star Wars.
It's a simplistic. I mean, it's the first one.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even supposed to go past that. Like as far as a movie, there was plans to go past that, but like Lucas didn't. Yeah, Lucas didn't know if he was going to get anything.
I mean, maybe that movie wasn't even supposed to get made. Honestly,
exactly.
back
then. So and to the whatchamacallums that produce movies, who did he get? Well, no. The film companies studio. Thank you. To the studio's credit, I can't think either today. To the studio's credit, like when you read a script and it is about clones and all this shit, and you're like, whoa, let's just start with a fucking farm boy in the let's start there, Luke.
Yeah.
Did I just call Lucas Luke?
Yes,
Luke,
you did.
Mr.
You
Luke.
did that on purpose.
Lucas.
George.
Yeah. When was the last time you watched an original trilogy movie? It's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years. It's been a while. I think the last one I watched was 6, and I don't know why. It's been a minute. I turned on episode 7 earlier today as I was doing some cleaning. Watched episode 7. Watched the last 2 episodes of Mando. So it was a mostly Star Wars filled day. But I think the prequels and then episode 7 are the most recent Star Wars films that I've caught. Original trilogy's been a while.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling, and I just kind of wanted to take it back, and I just
change up the tastes.
Yeah, well, the pace too. They are completely different.
Yeah.
Even
absolutely.
though, which is nice. It is nice to be like, you know what? To have options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the original trilogy. The rest of it's not Star Wars to me. Well, at least the original trilogy exists for you. Okay.
Right.
No, if I want more tech and sci-fi and battles and blowing up and clones, I have that. I have that now. Or if I just want to fly around with a fucking savage, Mando. Let's sign me up. So Yeah, I guess
Or you
that's
want
that's
something
about
right
it.
in the middle of all of it? Go to the sequel trilogy. I feel like it's pretty well balanced.
Yeah, I have a random feeling that original trilogy fans won't like the sequels just because it's too far out of their element. They saw this shit when they were 10, and now it's 50 years later, and they're like, I don't really get it. No, I'm not.
I don't think that's the case. I think they're pretty much split on it, and it's all has to do with Rey. I think it all
I'd
has
be
to do
interested
with
to
Rey and her lineage.
I'd be interested to like put up like who likes who. What would you prefer, sequels or prequels?
Like a poll?
Yeah, yeah.
I think right now a lot of people would say prequels.
Oh, I agree.
I
Probably,
think that would get the vote.
I assume it's mostly because of our age, our generation. But
Yeah, and they've had time to mature a little bit. The movies,
as
not the
far as
people.
filmmaking, I'd probably say sequels. But like, there's a lot of aspects about the prequels that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, as far as like lore and universe and stuff,
Yeah.
definitely always prequels.
Even
Always.
for how much I love, this might be something that we can ask. How much I love the sequel scores.
Mhm.
I think the prequel scores are untouchable. It's so hard to like when you hear Duel of Fates.
Yeah.
I'm like flying through the air, flipping over droids and cutting them in half. Like it puts you in that element. It's so
Yep. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, Ray's theme is perfect for Ray. Like, there's so many. It's a win-win, guys. It's a win-win.
That is one thing I think all Star Wars fans can agree on. The score has been good in all of them. Basically everything that's ever had Star Wars, the score has been good, except for the original holiday special. They went total like 70s rock circus with it. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
They made a musical out of 70s rock circus music, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense. That's what they ended up with.
They're like,
But-
we'll just put Bruce Springsteen in it. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Give him some weird glasses. Well, that'll make him look very spacey.
Yeah. Speaking of music, I was raving about the like the pulsing like synth and techno stuff that was happening in the Mando episode. I rewatched it, the Eris. And both when when Bo-Katan and her two comrades show up, the music there is perfect. And then when that Gazanti cruiser is taken off, like the synth that's going on underneath just feels like you're getting ready for a race in Forza. It's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Music in that show is just so good.
Yeah, the flow of because if you would ever listen or watch a Star Wars without the music, you know how bad it would be.
Yes.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
All
to
of
say,
them, honestly.
but it really and not that.
I'm sure someone's done that. I'd be curious to watch it just to cringe and just see.
Yeah, I don't. There's great aspects, but the music holds up. The story holds up. The script, like it all holds each other up. When you take one aspect and everything comes crumbling down, it's yeah. I mean, Star Wars without the scores it wouldn't have been what it is. So
it's funny how music does that, but you can take all the elements away and listen to the music, and it's all good.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's one of the few elements of like films and games that actually can stand on its own is the music.
well, I guess because I mean, it drives emotion. It drives at least enhanced emotion. Like you can see people are sad or something like on screen, but when you hear that sad music along with the sad facial expressions or acting or whatever, it really enhances it or whatever's going on. If it's a hectic battle, you put hectic music and it's 10 times now what it could have been. So no, it's definitely awesome. So
Johnny
Brennan
Boy does that well.
Brennan says Ray's theme gives me goosebumps every time, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
Why?
I thought you hated Ray.
But the music it strikes a chord, man. It strikes a not to
No pun
be
intended.
punny about it, but it does. It strikes a chord like internally. It takes you somewhere. That's what all music does.
Yes.
Like I'll hear a Metallica song and I'll go back to like right when I was listening to that over and over and over. It's like
Yep.
shortest straw. It's like 2005 all over again. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ,
Number 2 trigger for nostalgia, I would say, is music for sure.
Really, I think it's number 1 is smell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Smells like shit.
There's a particular type of hand soap when I first started playing Oblivion on the 360, and I'll just like, I don't know, sometimes like a random like restaurant bathroom will have that particular scent of hand soap, and I wash my hands and I'm just like, fuck, I need to play Oblivion right now, like right now.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
No, that's how it goes, man.
I know, I get it, but it's like
everyone has
video
one of
game.
those.
I gotta go play video games right now.
Well,
I'm over here at Chi Chi's getting my fajitas on, but now I gotta go play Oblivion.
Chi-Chi's.
Whatever.
Chi-Chi's.
Chi Chi's. Oblivion at Chi Chi's. Or it's like you smell like you smell like a fireplace, and you're like KOTOR and Kiss and Load by Metallica, please.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
It's God. Think about that. You listen to Load and you think KOTOR. You play KOTOR and you think of Load. You smell a campfire, you think of Load, which makes you think of KOTOR, which makes you think of Load. And you're like,
yes. It's everything in the universe just is focused around that 93 Metallica album.
And there's just like a sprinkle of Kiss in there. We listen to Kiss a little bit.
A little sprinkle of Kiss and Terminator 2 and Reese's.
Yeah.
Load, Metallica. When did that album come out? 96. It's a 96.
Cameron Smith brings up a good point that Halo, it's man, how iconic.
Yep.
How iconic.
I heard a little bit of guitar in the Mando score. I was watching it with my AirPods in, so I could make out some of the sound effects and music a little bit better, but I heard some guitar there in the background.
Yeah. Mando's been fun. It's been unique as far as score. It's been really cool. Really cool. Let's move right along here. I've got Mando. So what, do you want to just drive into Mando? Drive into it.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I forgot to read that sample, even though I told you to read it, so I apologize. And you haven't watched the holiday special yet, which you should. I assume you're saving it for the holiday this week.
Well, I had time, but I wanted to watch it with family here. So
yeah,
I didn't want to watch it alone because I know they want to watch it. So
it's fun, man. It's so much fun.
So this one was called. What the fuck was it called?
The Siege.
Thank you.
Not the Siege of Mandalore, but the siege of some Imperial fucking facility on Navarro.
So where we left off was Din Djarin's ship was fish lined together. He limps his ass all the way back to Navarro.
Yep.
Meets up with the old gang. They're doing well. The town's turned around. Cara Dune's a smoke show savage. She's fixing everything.
Judoing everybody.
Yeah, and Grief Karga is kind of coming around, being more of a businessman, and he's like the treasurer of the goddamn city.
Yep, cleaning everything up.
Yeah, but long and short of it, he needs repairs to find.
Yeah, the Razor Crest is falling apart.
It's fucked. So that's where we begin. We get down to business. We find out that the Mythrol, I forget his name.
I can't remember either. The blue fish dude, his original bounty.
Which is a nice kind of splash of, this is from the first episode. So the Mythrol's doing the books for Karga. So now we've got a gang here again. Karga, Cara, and Mythrol, whatever the fuck his name is.
And Din Djarin.
They quickly find out there's
the child.
And the child, yes, thank you. And the child's cute as fuck. He steals some goddamn cookies from the kid next door.
I bet every parent could relate to that opening scene when Baby Yoda has the two wires and Din Djarin's trying to just talk him through fixing it. Like, just plug the wire in here. And he's like, no, take the red wire. You see the red one, not the blue one. You take the red wire and you plug it in there. Guarantee it. That's that is 100% a child rearing experience right there.
You know what's hilarious?
No.
Because it's like, obviously, he can't fit in there, so he has his baby do it. Like, get in there and try to fix it. It reminds me, it reminded me, my dad was taking my sister and I to school or something, like preschool. We were young. So he would drop us off, but in the morning, he left his keys inside and locked himself out of the house.
Oh, man.
So I know you know how our house is set up. It's kind of a weird old house, but
got
in that mini garage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. In the back of it, there's an old coal chute because the house used to be burned coal to heat the house.
Right.
Which is 125,000 years old. But there's a little door where the old coal chute. So he opened up the garage, and it just reminded me because he had me dive into his coal chute. Which was just a little opening. There was no left, but
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of the Mando yelling at Baby Yoda, "Fix this,
Yeah.
put this," because I can't fit. So
Right.
yeah, it reminded me of me being shoved in the coal chute to unlock the door to let Dad back in. So
Classic. Or they drop like a screw or something into the engine bay and they can't reach because their hands are too big. Like, yeah, fish that thing out for me.
yeah, go get it, find it, hurry.
Don't electrocute yourself.
Don't
Or plug in the wrong wires.
Don't.
And then they also turned the old bounty cantina into a school, and there's a protocol droid teaching everybody about trade routes.
Oh, that was kind of a nice little splash. I didn't realize it was a repurposed goddamn. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he says something offhand. He's like, I can't believe this place is still standing. And they're like, wait till you see the inside. It's a school now.
Yeah, it was a nice little splash where he could kind of leave Baby Yoda there, and
it was a huge change of tone as well. I mean, you see that place when they were there in season 1. It's like monochrome, and there's troopers and bounty hunters everywhere. And now it's like bright and colorful, and there's people in the market walking around, taking their kids to school.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's vivid. Kick the Empire the fuck out of there.
Basically,
Baby Yoda steals candy.
he steals candy.
Always. The kid's always hungry.
They
He's
find out
tiny.
obviously.
He shouldn't have to eat that much.
So Karga mentions there's an Imperial base still here. We need to fucking blow it up to really release ourselves from the grip of the Empire.
Another side quest.
Another side quest.
Come back to Navarro to get repairs for your ship, and they're like, I'll help you, but we need to do this first.
But this felt different than a side quest because it is hard tied into a lot of the greater stories here.
Sure. No, it was good. It was just, Mando's been following that video game formula, which is
very
awesome.
Very much so. And it's fun because you don't know where they're going. But I guess my complaints along the way have been like that was fun, but it didn't really add much. The village one, you're like, okay, some internal. I've considered jumping off this whole bandwagon and banging the village woman.
Yeah.
But no, this side quest felt more hard tied into the main quest per se.
Absolutely. Yeah. We get some actual information in with this episode, unlike the frog episode.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they break into the base. They find some heavy shit really quickly. Well, how did you feel about the lava pit? It was kind of like episode 4 and God damn it. Mustafar, Jesus. It felt like an episode 4 Mustafar scene where Anakin breaks the goddamn lever and then
Yep.
starts spilling over him.
Yeah, you know how the Empire likes to put very important consoles on the opposite side of where you are coming from on a big cylinder that has no guardrail over a lava pit, because that's smart.
I love the little quip that the Mythrol, he's like, there's not even a guardrail.
I know.
I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
I get it. That's fine.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Family Guy thing.
Yeah.
The guy's like on the Death Star, like one of the laser shoots, and there's no guardrail, and there's a giant radioactive laser blast traveling by your head. Like, what the hell?
I forget what they even say. They're like, fuck healthcare. I just want a guardrail.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they have a weird way of building things.
Yeah, it is very, very weird. Their plan is to blow this place up. It comes to the point where they've basically set the bomb. It's gonna fucking blow up. It's not a bomb, but it's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then they come across
they
come across the info that the scientists from the first episode or first handful is basically talking to Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
About some goddamn stuff called midichlorians.
Yeah. Well, first they break into this place, and there's 2 Imperial guys with that same Camino badge, and they're trying to back up a bunch of data tapes, and then they bust in. Then the guys try to blow up all the tapes to just keep it out of their hands. And there's a bunch of vats. It reminded me of like Independence Day when they're in Area 66. I almost said Area 51, but there's like a bunch of science experiments like in these vats, and they see it. And then Bro from season 1, the scientist, starts talking about cloning or injecting M counts into people's bloodstreams. Mm-hmm. A lot of info there. It's not quite clear what's going on, but it looks like there's deformed clones or deformed test subjects in those vats.
Yeah. So we should preface that they assumed this was just a military installment, military base, and they went in to go blow it up, and that was it. That was going to be
Right.
the end of it.
Right.
Obviously, they come across that this was more of like a scientific, like lab.
Right.
So,
but now we know why the scientist was on Navarro and the client, and why they were trying to get Baby Yoda. That's how they kind of had that little base there.
Yeah. It's kind of wrapping everything into one episode, and it raises the stakes. Moff Gideon is still alive, which we knew, but the characters didn't. So they're going to start treating like obviously as soon as Din realized that Moff Gideon's still alive, we need to get back to Baby Yoda because first of all, I don't know why he just left him anyways. To hire the Mithril to take care of Baby Yoda, like have someone with him, but just to be like, oh yeah, C-3PO4, take care, wipe the baby's ass and feed him some cookies.
Yes. What are the odds that you're going to keep Baby Yoda safe while I'm gone on this mission?
Yeah.
2-1.
2-1. Yeah. So obviously they're trying to bring something or someone back using midichlorians and blood and.
Well, there's a couple things it could be. Now it's time for speculation, celebration. But like, I saw the deformed thing in the vat, so my first thought was like, oh, that's like an early Snoke thing that they didn't do properly. That's the first thing I thought of.
Okay.
Because it was just a deformed body. And then I thought, well, maybe this is like early stages of them testing cloning tech so they can bring back Palpatine. And maybe Gideon is like the guy in charge of Palpatine's contingency plans. And then my mind went there. But then I was watching, well, first of all, what do you think about either of those two possibilities?
I think the only options is Palpy.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, because you need to fuck Snoke. You need to bring Palpy back first, and then Snoke has to be like contingency plan 2.
Right.
Like step 1 is to bring back your boss, the dude that was running things. I 100% believe it's Palpy, and I don't know if they were alluding that was Palpy's body, because that would have been fucking crazy.
I assume that they were testing the technology on, they said volunteers. So I assume they took people captive and they were testing the process before they, before they gave it to Palpatine.
That's crazy. That's very brutal. I love it. It's
crazy. Now, but I was watching good old Alex Boy from Star Wars Explained, and he was saying perhaps that Gideon is trying to find a way to like infuse force sensitive blood into his bloodstream. Like, is he trying to find a way to like get midichlorians into his body to become force sensitive, which I thought was very interesting.
I don't hate that. I wanted to hate it.
As I was explaining it, I hated myself.
Well, no, I think it makes sense in it from a character point of view.
Right.
Like that's kind of out there, in a general sense. But like, since the Jedi are supposedly gone, Darth Vader and Sidious are gone, we need someone to bring back balance, per se.
Yeah.
Like, we need force something. We need to find it and or, find out a scientific way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That way everything can, you can rule this place. So I think it makes sense, especially with him having the Darksaber.
Yeah, like he might be obsessed with, Jedi or force sensitive stuff.
Yeah, there does seem to be some type of obsession there, which I don't hate it. I wanted to hate it because, like, it's almost nice that there is no crazy force sensitive people. Like, it would have been nice that someone like Moff Gideon can come to power without being a fucking wizard.
True.
That's why.
And he did come to power.
True. Well, from kind of. I mean, the things are in shambles, but there's a lot of opportunity that he can just climb the ranks. And if he does get something like Baby Yoda and or we'll talk for some foreshadowing here with the Dark Troopers potentially, if he can get something like that off the ground and running, man, he'll take over immediately.
Well, I guess at this point we technically don't know. I mean, he could very well be the highest ranking officer in the whatever's left over of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't know if there's anyone above him or not. I mean, he could have used the downfall of Palpatine and then the Battle of Jakku and everything just to kind of rise to the top and take control of everything. So I don't know. I guess I want to say that it's Palpatine stuff in the works there. I guess my only concern is there's still 24 years until he actually comes back. So that's quite a long gap of time. Also, do you think that the Mando, the show, is going to be hard tied into the movie, into like the sequel trilogy. Like, do you think we're going to get answers about Episode 9 from The Mandalorian as a show?
Not directly. Not directly. I do think there's got to be obvious cloning technology that happens in Mando that's gonna lead to like, oh yeah, of course Palpy's back. Of course Snoke exists. Like everything's fine. But for them to do, it's not gonna. It's gonna be, like I said, not directly. That what they're doing right now seems more like Moff Gideon's struggling to take power or take over.
Yeah, he's just running his own experiments.
Rather than it be directly a contingency plan of Palpy at this point. Maybe it is step one, unofficially. Or maybe even if outside of the contingency plan, this has to happen. I don't know. It's, yeah.
Like, is Gideon going to tie, and his forces and his little section of the Empire going to tie into the First Order at some point? Or is he just off doing his own fucking thing in the Outer Rim?
Yeah, well, what I assume is he's doing his own thing, trying to gain power, and in the end, his technology and his advances are going to be somehow taken over by the First Order, and then they're going to use it. So I don't think it's directly. I think the First Order could be enemies of this Imperial remnant.
Interesting. The thing that's getting me is the "Long live the Empire" from the last episode. That sounds to me like it's deep-rooted in some sort of like contingency plan. Like, if our leaders go down, we're going to carry it on because of this. And it sounds like Gideon is in it. I don't want to say in it for the right reasons because they're the bad guys, but he's in it for what he thinks are the right reasons, not to, become some sort of zealot. But that, I don't know, maybe he initiated some sort of "Long live the Empire" chant that they all do now. I don't know.
No, it's a good point. No, it's a very good point. With them, yelling stuff like that, it probably is more hard tied than I want to realize. Cameron Smith says that Moff is easily the highest ranking in that sector of the galaxy. Sounded like he's been rogue for a while on his personal mission. No, it's a good point. I mean, the fact that he is a surviving Moff of the Empire does suggest that he's way up there.
But he's not a Grand Moff.
Well, I don't know how many
Grand Moff Thrawn fucking around.
I don't know how many
else.
Grand Moffs exist at one time.
I have no idea.
So that's what he's saying is more highest ranking in that sector of the galaxy. You could have, a tenth of the galaxy and be the highest ranking Moff and still be someone of great importance. So
yeah, because you got Moff is like Moff of this sector, right? Just like a governor or something.
Yeah, a governor. I think a Moff's above a governor. I don't know
regional governors. Yeah, I don't know the ranking system at all. I need a flow chart.
Yeah. So yeah, and it all kind of leads to them fucking. It's almost like what we wanted to see play out in like a Plagueis thing is actually playing out right in front of us. They're fucking with midichlorians.
Mm-hmm.
They're using like force user blood.
Yeah.
To quite possibly bring a dead person back, and or enhance a trooper, and or create a trooper of some sort, and or enhance someone that's already here in Moff Gideon. It could go obviously in either of those ways, any of those ways, which is awesome. I love it. It is. It's exciting. It really is. This is what I needed. I needed it to spawn into something where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like it's expanding the sphere of Mando right now.
Yeah. Like it's almost like for how bad episode 2 is, it spawns everything.
With the clones and the war.
It does.
Yeah.
It changes everything. Now that we have an army of clones, that technology, but we're right on that cusp. We're right on that cusp that the clones, the clones were the death of fucking Jedi. So this technology is huge. If they could get a force user trooper, or be able to inject the force into Moff Gideon and it works, because they also say they injected the force blood and the, what do they call him, the donor, or
the child is the donor. Yeah,
child's a donor, but it said like the body rejected it or something.
The body of who they're putting it into rejected it.
Yeah, it says right here, the body rejected the blood. Pershing doubts that the
child is so small and we know from Yoda's species that he's so force sensitive. That's probably such a concentrated, potent midichlorian sample.
Yeah.
Like they probably need to dilute that shit with some regular ass blood, and then you know what I mean? Like if we were talking about midichlorian counts, but Anakin's what, over 20,000?
Dude, they're just they're ODing the bodies on
exactly.
midichlorian blood. It's like,
right. It's like the first time you have alcohol, you're taking like 99% rubbing alcohol instead of like a beer. That's the only comparison I can think of.
Is that how it works?
I think something like that. Don't do that.
I don't know.
99%.
Yeah. So we obviously we got the big drop of information. We got the scientific aspects behind it.
Still
as
enough
soon as that
mystery
happens
to keep us going through the rest of the season. But yeah.
They Din Djarin completely flies out of there to go save Baby Yoda, make sure he's all right. So we're left with the three goons, blasting their way out of the Imperial base, which is fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
It a little clunky as far as shooting, I will admit. Like I don't know how many turns of a corner they need to show, but it felt like there for like 4 minutes straight. It was just the three people running through the halls, turning a corner. Okay.
Yep.
And then they did it again. Turn it. Oh, we'll take a right. There's more people. Boom, boom. And then we'll keep running and we'll take another left. And then you're like, dude, I get it. They're running through it. Like,
right.
I don't know how much of this you need. It felt very clunky.
Yeah.
I guess not unnecessary, which makes it clunky.
Well, I mean, Star Wars has always had that. It's good guys running through a hallway, killing all the bad guys with one shot and never dying. Every movie has their version of it. I mean, I felt the same way in Rise of Skywalker when Finn and Poe were in that Star Destroyer, and they were, you know, at one blast, everyone in armor's going down, but Poe can take one in the arm and, you know, just get repaired afterwards. Repaired. Yes, I would agree with that. And then they do that thing where they spent so much time on the turret that's on that little transport and the speeder bikes and then the TIE fighters, and Carl Weathers is like spinning it around, and you go to the targeting computer and then back to the ships and then back to the turret and then back to the ships. I just felt like that was a little drawn out for him to only hit like, you know, one of them that whole time.
You know, it does feel like show Carl Weathers one time. He sits down in the thing, turns it on. Obviously he's like kind of struggling with it because it's kind of a clunky machine.
Yeah.
That's all I need to see. I don't need to go back to him every 10 seconds to understand that that's still Carl Weathers.
Well, you got to have his commentary, though. You got to have his commentary.
True. But I thought, like, once you get that grand scheme of, like, the TIE fighters are flying around, just have the TIE fighters, like, flying around. Oh, shit. He's shooting at us, and let's evasive maneuvers. Let's figure something else out. I do really like the in cockpit shots of the TIE fighter pilots.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Those
always
are
love seeing a
cool.
TIE fighter pilot.
Yeah. So the canyon pursuit and the dogfight was
fun.
It was fun. I will admit it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. And then they're a little worried because he takes out one TIE fighter, but there's still two more.
Well, he takes out the speeders.
Speeders first, and then the TIE fighters come zoning in. And he does take one of them out. And then Din Djarin blasts back in on a fully repaired Razor Crest and saves the day.
Yeah, very Millennium Falcon-esque. Like
very
coming
much.
In.
Not to mention at the very beginning when his ship stalls out, that we have the Millennium Falcon sound effect there when the ship stalls.
Mm-hmm.
And then he blazes back in, saving the day like Han Solo, taking Baby Yoda for a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. That was very cute watching Baby Yoda.
This is one of his cutest episodes by far.
The scout troopers on the bikes, I literally like sat there with a smile on my face. I was just like, oh, of course they're doing this shit. This is cool. Like I got really excited. It was like, oh my God, episode 6, but on like a desert planet, and let's fly through the canyon. So it was like pod racing episode 6. Like it felt like it was just mashing two things in my head.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it.
It's fun.
And then obviously the Outland TIE fighters, you saw them folded up and take flight and then shoots at them. That
was nice.
I will always like those TIE fighters that fold up. We talked about it earlier, but
yep.
It's a cool little change that just makes so much sense in my head. So
yeah, it was nice. Overall, very fun.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Very deep-rooted seeds that they planted with this injecting Force user blood into fill in the blank. It doesn't fucking matter at this point.
Right.
So
we learn out that mechanic that that was going to fix Mando's ship did put a tracker on the ship. He is working for the Empire. And then that officer says he will be well rewarded in the new era, which sounds very interesting to me.
You know what's kind of funny is like you immediately think, well, if he can fix the ship, he can rig the ship. If he can rig the ship, he can blow the ship up. Why don't they just blow him up? But the only thing keeping everything like Din Djarin alive is the fact that they need Baby Yoda alive.
Exactly. Yep. They need the subject, the child, the asset.
It's
That's
almost
what they call him, the asset.
Yeah, it's almost like thank God Din Djarin literally keeps Baby Yoda on his tit, because if he didn't, they would just kill him and be done with it. But you don't want to harm the baby, the Baby Yoda. That makes me even more pissed that scout trooper in the first season was punching the shit out of Baby Yoda.
Right.
Like if Moff Gideon saw that, he would have been blasted immediately. Like, dude, we need that thing.
We need that thing's blood for our future army.
We don't need the blood on the outside. We need the blood on the inside, bro. Stop punching my baby.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very fun episode. Again, I hate to talk shit. If I had to criticize it, very, very clunky hall running and blasting. I just didn't do it for me. But if that's the only thing I'm complaining about, it was a great episode. So
yeah. And then of course the big reveal at the end. So we talk with Gideon, that whoever that captain or admiral is, chats with Gideon. And we see him in a barracks full of dark troopers. So it's hard to tell exactly what it is at first. I thought they were death troopers first glance, and then I rewinded it and got a little closer. And yeah, I think it's pretty clear that they're dark troopers, and that also could be part of the reason they want the blood. I don't know the exact story of Dark Troopers.
Well, we'll get into it right now.
Yes. Go ahead and fill me in, because the first time I stumbled across them was in the first Battlefront game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's why when somebody was talking about when they were in Dark Forces and they were like droids almost, I was super confused because I just knew them as that, gray stormtrooper from Battlefront that had a jetpack.
Yeah. So
and I don't know if that's the same thing.
It is. So
or a different era. So
there are four separate phases of the Dark Trooper experiment, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Okay.
So the first phase immediately was they were non-combat droid. They weren't non-combat, or I'm sorry, they were not combat droids, but they were cyborg clone troopers. Because the clone troopers were degenerating so quickly that they needed to replace bits and pieces of them. So there was literally 70% of the body parts were replaced by mechanical components. So that was phase 0. We're actually extending the life of the clone troopers that they still had.
Gotcha. So that
phase
was probably that unit then, because it was still a person.
What do you mean?
Because I think it gets to the point where they're mostly droids. Isn't that correct?
Well, the phase 1 is the droid.
Okay.
The Dark Trooper, that's the earliest Dark Trooper was more than... So they had basically a vibro sword, which is cool that they even put that in there.
Hell yeah.
They were droids. Phase 1 was a Dark Trooper droid, and it looks like they had a shield of some sort. If you can see behind me, so this one is phase 1. It's got the goddamn shield and the sword. There's a lot of tubes going on. A lot of tubes. Yeah, and then walking through it, phase 2 is kind of a bigger, badder version. Let me move my head out of the way. That's probably what's on Battlefront is this middle version here, this gray one.
No.
It's the big one?
No, this is why I'm so confused. Let me pop the screen open here on Wikipedia. Phase 0, this, but in a gray instead of white is what was on Battlefront, the original Battlefront.
So that's a clone trooper, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I didn't know the story, so it looked just like a fancier version of a trooper, and it had a jetpack.
Yeah.
So I had never seen until they popped up in one of the cartoons. I had never seen these other phase 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing. What Kyle Katarn, if there's like one major thing that Kyle Katarn does, it's the destruction of this Dark Trooper project.
Gotcha.
It never really gets off the ground because he keeps fucking. He's
he discovers
quested.
it.
Well, he's quested by the rebellion, by the New Republic to go do this shit. Which if you beat the game, then you do prevent it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
But they do basically get all these off the ground. They make a couple of them, and then he destroys the plants or whatever. Fill in the blank.
Yep.
But you get all the way to so there's phase 0, 1, 2, and 3. You get to the phase 3, and it's literally a goddamn juggernaut. With look at that thing.
It's crazy.
Well, that looks like phase 2 almost. The phase 3 is like.
I need more pictures, please.
Need it. Phase
Give
3.
me some more images.
Yeah, it's literally so the cool thing about the phase 3 was not only was it a droid, but it was a wearable armor. You can have stormtroopers jump into this goddamn thing.
So, seeing these guys in that barracks.
Sorry, go bring that back up.
I can definitely do that.
It says at the bottom here, bottom of the first paragraph, it was sometimes even classified as a bipedal tank.
That's how big this fucker is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say so obviously, new Star Wars has a habit of taking Legends things and bringing them back into canon with some few tweaks. So I wonder if part of their project is like injecting midichlorians into soldiers to make super soldiers. And the Dark Trooper is going to be some like exoskeleton armor, but actual people inside it that have, been injected with the Force, for lack of a better term.
That's what you thought it was going to be?
Well, I'm saying like that could be part of the project as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe Gideon's not trying to become Force sensitive. Maybe they're putting midichlorians into soldiers to give them, heightened abilities or whatever, like Captain America or some shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it makes logical sense, I think, from like the Empire point of view. Stormtroopers are very inaccurate, obviously. Stormtroopers are very they can defect, they have a mind of their own. They're just people.
Mm-hmm.
We see that in Rogue One, obviously, with the defector. Yeah. I mean, if we can, it's kind of that blend of you want the benefits of the clone troopers, but you don't want them to deteriorate like savages. And my reign only is 15 years because they fucking age out. So yeah, something in a blend of I need a droid army that can think for itself. Let's fucking make it. Force powers. If I have an army of force powered troopers, get the fuck out of the way.
I know, that's crazy. Everybody's casting Force Valor on themselves. Just imagine. Just imagine what you can do.
There's force storms. Everybody's just force storming each other.
Yeah, I don't know. They could go a lot of ways with it, and this also opens the door for like what happens to the cloning technology between the prequels and the original trilogy. It's like still don't know what these scientists, like where they come from, why they have that Camino emblem.
What's interesting is like just thinking about it from a Palpy point of view, which is how you always want to consider things.
That's the only point of view there is, really.
Just like the droid army in their prequels, he probably would want to destroy, because that's potential of another army being created to defy his.
Well, that's why I was wondering.
That technology, yeah.
Yeah, like if they kept the tech, because like the Kaminoans made the clones, and then the clones turned bad, and that's the Empire. So obviously, like the Empire, maybe Kamino isn't part of the Empire, but they have obviously like relations. So sexual relations.
Well, so, like that's a good point because they were kind of just hired, like Kaminoan. So I'm wondering, like, did Palpy go back and fuck up Kamino?
Or did he like take them under the wing of the Empire and like keep that technology going?
Ruled them by fear, yeah.
Which I would think the first thing that you said has to be the most obvious, because why are they still trying to do all these tests and everything if they already have the clone technology?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they kept the Kaminoans in the Empire, they would be the ones, Can you imagine if they had a Kaminoan in the show? Like Lama Su or some shit, like in the show, running that program? Like, that'd be so cool. But like, yeah, if they kept the Kaminoans around, they wouldn't need to do all this extra work.
They do, though. They do, because you're trying to clone Force sensitives. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest difference.
True.
We can clone people. That's all day. You want 20 Din Djarans? So it's $50, bitch, and we'll get you signed up. But yeah, the whole Force sensitive thing, like the the scientists said, the body's rejecting it.
Right.
So,
The M count's too high.
yeah. It's cool. I like this. I like the scientific, the technology behind it, the thoughts, I need more beakers in Star Wars. I want more of that.
Did it remind you at all of in the first Mass Effect when you go to Vermeer and you like discover the lab of Krogan experimentations?
No.
Damn. Just me.
Damn.
Fine. I'll take it.
No, it did not. Honestly, as soon as I saw the tubes, I thought Dark Trooper, and I was like, they are not bringing the fucking Dark Troopers into this. That's so cool. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's a way. What if we see Kyle Katarn?
Oh.
Could you imagine?
I can't actually.
I can't either, but it would be a huge drop if they introduced Kyle Katarn and did it right.
Yeah.
I think it would be hella popular. I think it would be awesome.
No, that'd be great. Wouldn't be a surprise now because you ruined it for me with your theory. But
yeah, I mean, he's kind of like a cult classic. I'm not a huge fan of him, but to be honest, he does some crazy things, and I would 100% sign up to watch him do half of what he does in the games. So
like a New Republic version of Kyle Katarn. That'd be cool. I mean, with all the drops they gave away basically by announcing the cast listing, like we knew about Boba and Ahsoka and Bo-Katan and everything already.
Yeah,
they do have one or two big drops that they are saving for the end of the season. So
yeah. No, I think because the other aspect of this is not only cloning Force sensitives and or injecting Force blood into a non-Force user and making it work, but the other aspect is breaking off from the Force the way Luke does. Kyle Katarn does that. He goes to the Valley of the Jedi in one of the games and literally gives up the Force.
Right.
And then in a later game, he goes back there to get the Force back because his friends get in trouble. It's kind of
totally a video game thing.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that he does it is kind of leaves the doors open. So if it happens like that,
the fuck just happened?
You made a face.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I make faces while you're in your divulsions of canon.
So no, I think if we saw Kyle Katarn,
that'd be crazy.
Look, if we saw Kyle Katarn,
seeing the Hawk in the what's it called?
Who?
His ship, the Moldy Crow. His ship.
Oh,
the Hawk 290.
Yeah, what is it called?
The Moldy Crow.
The Moldy Crow.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm fixing my mic. That's the name of the ship. Kyle Katarn's ship. I can't spell. Ship. Enter. Yeah, the Moldy Crow. HWK 290 thing.
Brennan said he imagines Palpatine killed off the Kaminoans to prevent them slipping his plans to destroy the Jedi and the rule.
Yeah, I mean that'd be my first bet, but Palpatine does like his sinister plans, so I could totally see him kind of keeping them in the group. So to speak.
You know what's crazy is some engineer on Kamino said, "What is that? Oh, it's an inhibitor chip. What does it do? You kill random people and good people? Yeah. I can put that in. Whatever you need."
Right. They had to sign off that part of the contract. Yeah.
It's got to be someone on Kamino. Like I don't know.
Well, the inhibitor chip isn't just for Order 66, though. I don't think.
Okay, so maybe it was a mass upload of these are 100 orders. I'm not going to read through all this. I'll just mass upload this into the fucking thing.
Actually, yeah, they had all 127 or whatever stored in their chip. So maybe you're right. Yeah, but somebody had to sign off on that. Oh, that's going to be an extra 30,000 Palpatine if you want this Order 66.
Yeah. Order 66.
Cheers, farm boy.
Man.
Cheers, farm boy. Yeah. I also want to know. Yeah, there's just a gap of time. I want to know what's happening to the clones in between
Cloners,
Order 66 and the Empire, and how they get into the Empire, and who deserts and who doesn't.
Yeah. So, are you mad?
Yes.
That your vision came true that we didn't see Ahsoka in this one?
To be completely honest with you, I had forgotten about it. I didn't forget that she's, up on the list of people to meet, but I was it was a good, solid episode. So I wasn't like, oh man, I just wish we'd get to Ahsoka earlier. I was entertained. I was content.
I am still pissed.
It's a show. That's how they do it, man.
But look, I get it. It doesn't mean I can't be pissed about it. It was a great episode, but it didn't take me off like, and it also planted a bunch of seeds. It was great. It was fucking great. But you're gonna drop Ahsoka's name and she doesn't come like, oh yeah, Boba Fett.
I am annoyed about that.
You thought he was gonna be in this? Fucking hell. That's what they're gonna do with a goddamn Ahsoka. She's gonna be like, I'll take the baby and protect him while you go on this side mission.
Not gonna happen.
And then we're not gonna see her. Be like, oh Jesus.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Approved. Now, obviously, Dave Filoni is directing or had directed the next episode, so of course he's gonna hold
That's
off.
Prime candidate. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna show up on this. First of all, he wouldn't leave the launch of Ahsoka to anyone else.
Probably.
Second of all, he wouldn't leave the launch of Ahsoka to anyone else.
What if they had George direct an episode? That'd be so fucking awesome.
I don't know why they wouldn't. That would even
as you were saying that, I was like, he would have leave the live version of Ahsoka to George to direct. That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah. Was that? Yeah, because that was all still under his reign. Yeah.
Yeah, when that original animated movie came out, it was 2007, I think.
Earlier, right?
6 or 7.
Oh,
one of those two.
You're saying Ahsoka wasn't around when we were in school?
No, it was that Clone Wars animated movie that came out in 07. Shinobi says that Lucas has expressed he has no interest in directing anymore.
Because he knows he'd fuck it up.
Thanks a lot
he
for
would
ruining
fuck
my
it up.
dreams.
He would absolutely fuck it up. We'd be back in 1978, and he's
too far out of the game at this point.
Yeah. I feel bad saying that, but he was the one to lay the groundwork. Yeah. I'm glad he kind of let the ship go and let some other people. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the Mando? Shout out at us, yell at us.
Yeah. I would. Very very content with this episode. I like when they find a nice way to like give you a drop, but then also use the drop to tease even more stuff for future episodes. They do that well. So this is one of those good examples.
They also make a big deal out of small drops. Like, we're all waiting for Boba Fett. We're all waiting for Ahsoka. Baby Yoda was a huge drop, but like the Dark Trooper, if you don't know the history behind it, first of all, you probably didn't even notice it. You're just like, oh yeah, maybe Death Troopers, a cool like Darth.
Yeah, if you had never heard of the Dark Troopers before, you were just like, oh, those are just soldiers.
Yeah,
like menacing soldiers.
Which, from a certain point of view, that's all they are at this point. They haven't expanded on it. True. So yeah, we'll see where they go with it. Yeah, like I said, they're making big deals out of small stuff for us hardcore fans. The Darksaber. If you didn't know any better, you're just like, dude, that guy looks sweet. He's got that fucking like black lightsaber. I want that. Right. So no, it's nice that they're able to do that, able to do the big drops or small drops for us hardcore fans that really do mean a lot. Yeah, I mean, we got to see a goddamn crate dragon, guys. What the fuck else do you want?
Everything's good.
Really, the only thing else that I need is for them not to do this around Din Djarin, and I want to see Darth Revan I want to see him wrestle a crate dragon with his bare hands. And Malik in a cheerleader uniform cheering him on. Hey, you can do it. Yeah, rah, rah.
I want to see them steal the crate dragon from the Sand People and try to shove that motherfucker into a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's true. I want to see
How's that upgrade supposed to work?
Yeah, I want to see Revan put a saddle on a crate dragon and ride him into Coruscant somehow, some way, to take over again.
Yeah. Mandalorians on a mythosaur? No, thank you. I want to see Revan on a crate dragon.
Yes, guys.
He needs a sand mask so he can go under the sand without suffocating.
Disney, sign us up.
We're the new Benioff and Weiss, if I had to say.
We'll do a hell of a side mission for season 3 of Mando. It'll be fun. Everybody would talk about it. General Shinobi. That's hilarious.
You are a bold one. How did no one ever think of that before?
I'm pissed at myself that I didn't. Let's see. I guess we'll finish up with the Light of the Jedi. So the first couple, I think they actually released, if I'm if I read right, so obviously they released 2 chapters. I thought they released even more than that, if I saw correctly. But I read the first 2 chapters. It seemingly is really fucking fun. It starts off with disaster. All hell breaks loose, and it's not because there's an all big bad Sith dark side user. Well, seemingly at this point, it's basically a disaster in the hyperspace lanes, and it's from 2 points of view. The first chapter is basically a captain on a transport. She's an old military captain. She's transporting a bunch of people from Coruscant out to the Outer Rim for a promise of new money, new life, with all of this shit.
Yep.
They're kind of nice. She's walking throughout doing her. She runs her ship like a very military. She's out of the military, but she still runs her ship like goddamn military. Long and short of it, kaboom! They run into some serious shit, and the ship blows up, and they die. That's the end of the first chapter. Yeah, it hits the ground fucking running. The second chapter, you're on this outpost. There's this like dude. He wants to hit on this Twi'lek. He's like, it's kind of weird, but he's like at work and he's thinking about going to the bar later and hitting on this Twi'lek and asking her out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but
I'm buying it.
He's literally sitting at work and he's like, maybe I can leave early, something, blah blah blah. He's right on the cusp of leaving, and then he's sitting there with his coworker, and alarms start going off. Something that they're reading in the hyperspace lanes, and he's like, shit, is this normal? She's like, I don't know. Essentially, what happened to that freighter, something came out of into the hyperspace lanes, fucked the freighter up. The freighter became shrapnel and starts destroying this entire system.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked, and it's pretty cool right away.
Are we getting Yuuzhan Vong up in this now?
I don't know. It really does feel like that. It really does. That something is fucking up the hyperspace lanes out here, so it's no longer safe. They're going to be cut off from all living life.
They did show a tease of the who the enemy are.
Ooh.
I don't know if you saw that.
No, let's share this shit.
Let's do that since you brought that up. Again, them bringing legend stuff into canon. So here are 2 different versions of the enemies. We have...
Interesting.
Some dude.
Mark.
Good old Mark. He looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like... Nah, he looks cool.
He looks
like a pirate blunderbuss.
Yeah, like a space pirate. Like an actual space pirate. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's called the Nile or the Neil. Something like that. Nile. Like nihilism, I think.
Yeah. They look kind of like culty.
Yeah. And I don't know who this crawling plant thing is. I don't even know what to say.
It's a vegan Borgullet.
The Drengir. So it's a sentient creature.
Oh, really? That thing can talk?
Yeah, I mean it's not just like a
beast.
It's not a beast. Yes, it is sentient.
Wow.
Who knows, man?
Well, from a certain point of view, what I'm thinking is there's locals out there. So what it sounds like is people are going to the Outer Rim as a frontier. We've already talked about that. Mm-hmm. But you think about it, that stuff's already inhabited by someone somewhere. And then like the light of the Jedi, they're forcing it's just like
they're fucking with the locals, yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking with the locals.
It's very much the Wild West, and I'm into that. I like
exactly.
that
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be obvious struggles. If they're fucking ships up in the hyperspace lanes, there's no way to get out there.
Right.
So you're cutting them off at the cord. Like there's no help coming because they're controlling the hyperspace lanes. It's so, they take that shit for granted in the new movies and all that. And in the Star Wars that we know, the hyperspace coordinating done, boom, we're here.
Right.
We don't have to worry about it. Now it's like in casual. We'll bounce off a star or shoot through a fucking thing.
It ain't like dusting crops, boy.
Yeah, exactly. But they still get there. Nothing, no issues.
Everything's fine.
But the idea that a huge freighter gets struck by something or something, something happens and it becomes shrapnel and starts destroying.
Did they spend a lot of time in the first chapter kind of in the background of those characters, like they introduce them just to kill them off at the end of the chapter?
Well, it's mostly about the captain. Like if they get into her military background, they talk about they have her interact with some of the people that she's taking out there that she's supposed to protect. So
Yeah.
they like build small relationships already with this general or with this captain. So
Yeah. That's a very Game of Thrones thing to do.
yeah.
A lot of times in Game of Thrones, the prologue is like, we're giving backgrounds and you learn about this person's like the house that they're from and their history and their family and everything. And then they end up dying at the end of that first chapter.
Yeah.
And you never hear from them again. So the fact that they're opening up that book that way is very interesting. I feel like that's not usual for the Star Wars canon books.
But it's also nice because it's telling you that this is what's going on in the universe. Not necessarily, you don't fuck the characters.
Mm-hmm. It's setting the stage. Yeah,
they were setting the stage. It's frontier. They also were harping on it. It's peaceful. The Republic is a success. I think that's like said like several times. Like we don't have to worry about it because the Republic's working per se.
Right.
And then shit hits the fan, obviously, or ship hits the hyperspace van.
Yeah.
I don't know where I went with that. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry you had to listen to me. No, it's cool. Just like a more of a natural disaster that might be caused by these raiders or I don't know.
Giant plant creature, sentient beings, things.
Yeah, because on the surface it does feel like it's a natural disaster. Because like the captain on the ship in the first chapter, there's like alarms that start going off, and basically her pilot was like, "We can't slow down. We'll die. It's like inevitable."
Right.
So it's like
because they're going hyperspeed.
Yeah,
hyperspeed.
Hyperspeed. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which
Did
is
they give
weird
us
that
a release date for that shit yet?
January.
Nice.
January 5th, 2021. You can pre-order it now.
Yeah.
It's available at any of the bookstores, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Amazon. Yeah, so and Target. So I have asked. That's my one Christmas gift that I want is for this. I'll pre-order it so I can get it because I'm all in. I like it. It feels brand new again. It's making Star Wars feel brand new again, which is hard to do.
Wow.
So.
Oh, nice. They have a number of High Republic stuff already listed on Amazon. Actually, Light of the Jedi, but they also have Into the Dark.
That's
And they have A Test of Courage.
So
those are some of the younger books. Gotcha.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Remember, there's like all ages and like all content types going on for the High Republic.
Yeah, I want to say I saw something that said that the Light of the Jedi was one, and then it was followed by one of those other two.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's like chronologically following, or if it's like part of a series, or if they're like this is the basis of it. But then you can, I don't know how they're gonna be launching this shit. So,
well, they have a couple. Because, on Amazon, they have things grouped by series.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that, just actually, I keep forgetting, just share my shit, yeah.
Star Wars High Republic, Things from Another World. Ooh,
so, yeah, right now it's a set of 4. So Light of the Jedi's first. Novel number 2 is not named, comes out in July.
Okay.
And then they have A Test of Courage and Into the Dark, which both look like young adult novels. Oh, this one says Star Wars middle grade novel. And this one says young adult novel. Like middle school?
Interesting.
So, we're close, guys. We're close.
You know what that the Test of Courage or the Into the Darkness, that looked like a Tales of the Jedi cover.
Yeah.
Or Jedi and Apprentice. Sorry, Jedi and Apprentice. And Tales of the Jedi. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore.
All the Jedi stuff. You know one thing that I'm annoyed about? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I definitely prefer paperback books, and I don't want to wait, and I'm going to have to buy hardback for all of this stuff. And it drives me nuts.
Buy it.
I will. I'll buy everything. I buy everything Star Wars. You know that. That's part of the deal. It's part of the deal when you sign your fandom certificate.
I tell you what, if they
merch.
release some type of Dark Trooper pop, I might consider that. That's kind of fucking cool. They keep pushing it, guys. They keep pushing it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The Phase 1 Dark Trooper behind me, like, you know how Two Tubes got his name. This is 12 Tubes over here. Look at that.
He does have a whole apparatus going.
Apparatus. Yep.
It'll be cool. I mean, to see them come to live action. to see them do it as if it's, a trooper there on the ground, not some giant hawking creature, which is a little too extreme, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Side note, why episode 4 felt pretty tasty recently is because I watched Rogue One. Yeah, right before it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It makes it so much better.
Who was talking shit about Rogue One in the chat?
You and FedEx.
Well, he took it too far. I got mad at him.
He said I didn't really like it that much. You're like, I'm with you.
I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree. And then he was like, all the graphics and everything were terrible. It looked like Legos. And I was like, whoa.
I want to agree with you, but you're insane.
Whoa.
All right, Charles Manson, like this is crazy.
He went too far. No, I think that photography in Rogue One is the best in the whole saga. It's the best in Star Wars movie.
They were showing stuff like on Scarif. God, what was the scene? Oh, it was oh my God. I'm the worst Star Wars fan of all time.
That's okay.
Who's the main bad guy? Why can't it? Because it's
not Tarkin. It's
exactly.
Fuck. You just watched it. You should know.
It's his title because it's like his name isn't. It's a title first.
Director Krennic.
Thank you, Krennic. So we see Krennic at the top of that insulation tower, and he looks out, and it's like a hazy Death Star out in the distance, and you're like,
yeah. I know. It's crazy, right?
Like it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then obviously like the insulation of the focuser or the lens on the Death Star. Like, come on. It's so beautiful.
So good.
So
I'm a fan.
No, I really like that movie. It is one of my favorites, to be honest. And like the more and more deaths, like it's crazy. I know who's gonna die, but as I watch Chirrut die, I'm like, fuck, that was awesome. I watch his buddy die.
Yeah, Baze,
thank you. I was like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. K2SO is probably my favorite death of all time.
Yeah.
And then
favorite as in hits the home the most. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like your buddy. It's like, yeah.
I know.
And then obviously watching Jin and Cassian die together, it was like everything they did. They like even Cassian says it. Your dad would be proud of you. Like you made a difference. You spawned the original trilogy. But it is like
otherwise none of us would be here.
There wouldn't be 4, 5, and 6. From a certain
really,
point of
you
view.
could say that about Shmi. She's the one that spawned everything.
She birthed it
Literally.
all. She birthed Star Wars.
It'll be cool to see. I have a really good feeling about Cassian now that we've gotten so much of Mandalorian. It'll be really cool to see K2SO in a show on a regular basis. Yeah. I didn't get enough of him in the movie. He's one of my favorites. I need more K2.
I got a perfect amount of him. I really like that movie. It's almost like I don't want to. I want to like the trilogy movies more, but I watch that. I'm like, why does this strike my chord? Like, what is it about this? It's like, I guess it's like they're believable characters. Jin's pissed off at the world. She doesn't even like her own friends. Like she's been thrown in jail and basically used her entire life. The only thing she has is her father, who she wants to protect at all costs. The little bit that she can get him. And then like Cassian wants to kill him because it's military orders.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, it's so believable. You're pissed off at him. There's a splash of Chirrut Imwe Force using from a different point of view. I love the religious aspect of
You make me want to watch it. You sold me on it.
It really it's I like Chirrut Imwe more and more. And Baze is a cool character that like believes, but also he said, what does Chirrut say? The Force has protected me. He's like, I protected you after he shot like I love it because from a certain point of view, they're both right.
I know they're just bickering with each other.
Yeah, so yeah. And the shooting, the flow of the battle. That's my favorite battle out of all the Star Wars films is the Scarif battle, the way they film it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the X-Wings fly through the shield gate, and then you fly all the way down to the AT-ATs. I'm like, oh my God, it's like perfect.
I still can't believe they kind of did it in Battlefront in 2015, but sorry, I'm just going to complain about Star Wars video games. I'm just imagining something on the scale of Battlefield in that Scarif battle where you have everything in space. You have everything happening on the surface.
Yeah.
And
having it like an interchangeable, dude, it'd be really cool. It would be really fucking cool to have a grand scale where you can spawn into a ship and do a major damage, but you can't win the battle without taking the ground. So you like you can make a huge difference in your ships.
Yeah.
You at the end, at the end of the day, you need to take all 10 points or whatever's in front of you.
Right.
With troops on the ground.
Man, that'd be so sweet.
It would. And with the vehicles, if you just like it,
can you
spawning
imagine,
into an ATSD and taking over parts of the battleground with an ATSD successfully, like the new Battlefield or Battlefront did it okay, but it's like
the
a
Galactic
direct
Assault stuff. Yeah,
it's a direct flow. Like you can only go to these 2 points in front of you. It would be great to just have a huge map and just like good luck. You need to take this all over.
That's why I guess the capital supremacy thing was kind of close, but they messed it up by the ticket system and going to the ship and then back down. They made it too obnoxious. You know what I mean?
There was no flow. Yeah, it
was conquest and then some annoying thing where the game wasn't over yet.
Yeah, that's it. We're done shitting on Star Wars.
We almost got through a whole thing without complaining.
Yeah. Well, episode 4.
One of these days. One of these days. Season 2 finale of Mandalorian, I bet we'll go through a whole episode without a complaint. I bet.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how good it is. I'm just proposing.
Yeah.
Predicting. That's what I meant to say. All right, everybody.
We have foreseen it. Now, just last but not least, are you going to be mad?
I'm already mad.
If we don't get any more Boba Fett.
I will 100% be pissed if he does not show up again.
Now, will you be less pissed if they do some side quest, or not side quest, a side series or like a spin-off movie of Boba Fett?
I don't think that has anything to do with him showing up in the rest of the season. But yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah, because for them to spoil his he's still alive, and then not do anything with it is the most shittiest. It's the shittiest thing.
It makes too much sense for them to do something with him in The Mandalorian. They have to. Like, he is a Mandalorian. And if he's not a true Mandalorian, he's at least involved. Like, if there's any potential for Boba Fett to redeem himself and, like, embed himself into the Mando culture, it's obviously in this show. So yeah, it's almost. It looked like I will be pissed if he doesn't come back.
From a certain point of view, he obviously gave up the Mandalorian way. Like, if he really wanted it, I truly believe Boba Fett could easily have gotten his armor back if he wanted it. But it's almost like he decided to instead keep an eye on the armor and see who's after it because there's something else afoot. Like, there's something else happening.
I didn't even think of the fact that he maybe gave up the creed and just gave the armor to the Jawas on purpose. He's like, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility too. But we'll never know if he doesn't come back.
Well, it's also
Filoni.
It's also like even though Tatooine is a backwater planet, it seems like it gets a lot of fucking travel. Like, there's a lot of people on and off.
Everything's there. All the Skywalkers, all the pod racing.
But what happens is if you're wearing Mandalorian armor, obviously you're a target. Like, people across the galaxy knew, oh yeah, there's Mando armor on Tatooine. Some dude has Mando armor. Like, you're a huge target. So maybe he gave it up for that reason. He no longer wanted to fucking fight for his life when he was out just grabbing dinner.
Just trying to get some Chinese food, man, and get out of here.
That Tuscan pot roast, I love that shit. I need some more.
Bantha burgers.
That's it.
Cool.
Hopefully, obviously next episode we'll be diving back in. I think Ahsoka is on the brink. We're on the brink of seeing one of the most badass characters on screen, under Filoni's watch, obviously, with him directing that. So I think we're in for it. We are in for
Friday
it.
is going to be lit. I'm very excited.
I just, I'm imagining Ahsoka's face when she lays eyes on the baby Yoda. Like, what's going through her mind and how much, like, she's been through it all. She knew Yoda. Jesus.
Right.
She knew Yoda.
Exactly.
And the fact that she, like, that should not exist.
Right.
Yoda was the last of them.
Right. As far as she knew. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay, never mind. I for a half second, because I know we discussed how old Baby Yoda is, and it could be the same ages. Yeah, same age as Anakin, potentially, or Darth Vader. I was trying to think of maybe if there was a way to link up Yoda's death and Baby Yoda, but they're way off now.
Yeah, they're too far apart.
Interesting. Okay, that's it.
Sweet.
Good day, Galaxy. Good day, Galaxy. Good day, Galaxy, for you and me.
Good day, Galaxy. Good day, Galaxy. Good day, Galaxy. Good day, Galaxy.
And we're gonna hire someone to make a Good Day Galaxy rhyme.
Yeah, we haven't changed the intro music in like 4 years. Maybe it's time.
Get fucked on a Friday. We're done.